Okay guys, the wait is finally over. UAE have today announced and confirmed their Tour de France 2025 squad of who's going to be going up against Jonas and the Visma Lisa bike team in the quest for the yellow jersey. And luckily for us, UAE have done it in the form of a video. So we're going to have a look at this one, see who they've brought, break it down, analyse it, compare it to the Visma squad and see who's got the better team. Could they have brought anybody else? And is it even going to make a difference in the grand scheme of things anyway? So let's have a look at this one. I'm excited to see if there's any surprises. I think if you watched the Visma reveal video that I did the other day, we had a look at who we thought there was going to be. I'm not really expecting any surprises, but let's break this one down and have a look. All right, so who have we got up first? Let's have a look. João Almeida. You know, no surprises there, right? He's the number one guy for Pog. He's got to be. He's arguably the fourth best GC rider in the world right now, right? Behind the main three. You know, who else is there? Yates, maybe Simon Yates after the Giro, you could argue, but I don't know. I think João Almeida's probably at a higher level, like over what we've seen over the last couple of years, consistently. Anyway, I know he's not won Grand Tour, right? But he did just win the Tour de Suisse, looked great doing that. Even though they gave away huge deficit on the first stage of the breakaway, he still managed to claw it back and took the overall win with a stage win as well. So, you know, he's in top form right now, and he's going to be super important for Pog. There's no question. He is the guy that's going to be there at the end of every mountain train for Pog, doing the last pull before Pog launches it. Pretty much every single time that happens, it's going to be Almeida, right? There's no question. He is the guy that Pog's going to have there at the end. And probably, like, I think he finished fourth last year in the Tour, right? So he's super important to keep up there as well on GC as a second threat against, you know, Visma have got a couple of really good options for the second GC threat to try and put pressure on Pog. Well, you know, the antidote to that is Almeida, right? So if Jumbo tried to get, you know, Yates or Kuss or Jorgensen in a break, you know, you try and get Almeida in the break as well, sort of keep track with that. I think most importantly as well, he's super loyal, right? Like Pog loves him because he does exactly what Pog wants him to do. There's never any doubt. He's not another Juan Ayuso like last year at the Tour. He was the guy telling Juan Ayuso to come through, right? Come and do your pull. And he just will give everything to the team. And even then, he still managed to get fourth for GC. So super strong guy. I can't really think of anybody better for Pog to be his last guy. Like Yates, the last couple of years, Adam Yates, he's not quite been at the level he was a couple of years ago, right? When he got third at the Tour, he seemed a little bit off that the last year or two. And he can have good days, and he will have good days for sure. But you know, is he going to be as consistently good as Almeida is high up there in GC? Probably not. I don't think so. I think most of the time it's going to be Almeida there. And then next up, we've got, all right, Jonathan Narvaez. Yeah, to be expected. He did a great job for Pog over the Classics campaign. Did really good. I think there's one or two spots where he's out of position, but for the most part, I think it was on Milan San Remo, wasn't it? He was out of position at the bottom of the suppressor, but other than that, really solid. That pull he did in the Dauphiné last week was insane to launch Pog on the stage where he took most of his time, and they just did that huge lead out. That shredded most of the GC guys. You watch that group, he dropped Remco, didn't he? And then I think he may have even dropped Lipowitz as well. It was a huge pull. I think the only people that were left were Vin, Wellens and him, and Wellens couldn't even come to the front, right, to do a pull. He came to the front and just, Pog immediately came around him. He couldn't even do anything. So huge pull for Narvaez. So he's going to be really important on the mountain stages when Pog wants to launch it. We know that when Pog launches it, he likes the pace to be really high. Narvaez has got a really good 1 to 2 minute power, right? That's his specialty, is these short, steep 1 minute climbs. So he can be a really good catalyst for Pog to launch it when he decides he wants to go. So he's a really good guy to have there. And look, at the end of the day, Pog's picked all of these guys. There's no question that Pog has picked this team and told the DSs and told the UAE team management at the start of the year, this is the squad I want to take with me to the Tour de France. And they'll have planned around that, right? They'll have decided who was going to the Grand Tours on the back of this, and who was doing what, who was going to the Giro, who was going to the Volta. You know, Juan Ayuso, if Pog had wanted him here, he'd be here. There's no question. He wouldn't be at the Giro. He'd be here. So obviously they want to give him experience, Juan Ayuso, and get him to sort of like turn into another guy and whatnot. But that last year's tour, Pog was not happy after the incident where Almeida had to tell Juan Ayuso to come through. Didn't he like go home like a couple of days after that? You know, I don't know, man. I don't think Pog likes him. And there was some stuff that came out from the Giro where Pog was texting Del Toro, right, and saying, "You can do this. You've got this." I think he likes Del Toro, but I'm not quite sure he likes Juan Ayuso. But either way, if he wanted him here, he'd be here. So they say that the DS has picked the team, but come on, Pog. They build this team around Pog to keep Pog happy, give him what he wants, give him the best crack at the Tour every year. That he picks the team for the Tour. I guarantee it. Right, who have we got next? Okay, who's this fella? Tadej Pogacar. Okay, bit of a surprise to see him here. Hopefully he can, he can repay the faith in the team. No, come on now. I mean, yeah, absolutely. The number one guy in the world, probably the best cyclist of all time, especially definitely the guy in top form right now. So the unquestionable favourite to win this year's Tour de France. Let's see if he can turn that into success. Who's he bringing with him? Nils Pollitt, the man with the best teeth in the peloton, without doubt. Those shiny nudges. Him and Pogacar could be doing a Colgate commercial for sure. Surprised they haven't got Colgate team sponsor on the jersey at this point. But most importantly, absolute tank on the front for Pog when it comes to controlling the breakaways. This is one of arguably the most important guys in the team. He's one of the only guys that's capable of controlling a breakaway on his own. Former German time trial national champion. Big guy, isn't he? Like 80 kilos, 85 kilos, maybe not 85, but big guy. Really good at controlling those flat stages, keeping the brake on a leash and making sure that, people that, if Visma get the breakaway, riders into a breakaway to try and get time up on Pog and use the two people in GC strategy, then, Pollitt's worth his weight in gold, right? He's super, super important. So, yeah, absolutely essential that he's here. Who have we got next? Pavel Sivakov. Again, nothing unexpected here. You would expect to see him. All the signs have been he's going to be there. He's one of Pog's best climbing domestiques, right? Not quite on the level of the top guys. He's never going to be a GC guy. I think that's clear, with all due respect to Pavel Sivakov. But he is a super loyal domestique, and he's usually at a fairly consistent level. So there's no doubt that Pog wants him here and that he's been picked specifically for this. I'm pretty sure he came to UAE specifically to be like a bodyguard climber domestique for Pog. You never hear any issues with him, right? You never hear anything about him causing any problems or internal team issues or not disobeying orders. He's always, he seems like a company guy, right? So expect him to be there, expect him to sort of be setting the pace on the trains. Probably not quite there at the end of the mountain stages, but certainly on the lower slopes. Okay, Soler. Yeah, okay, so Soler. He was maybe the one question mark, right? I think we thought it was going to be Soler and probably expected it to be him, but there was some talk about Dom and Novak, but after he did the Baby Giro Next Gen, whatever it's called now, I'm not surprised that Novak wasn't here. Yeah, I would have been again shocked if he was here on the back of that. But Soler, yeah, pretty consistent. Again, he's kind of used. You'd think he's more of a climber, but he's not really used like that for UAE in the Tour the last couple of years. He's used more as a sort of like baradeur sort of guy. That, again, controlling breakaways, maybe getting in a breakaway, but he's rarely sort of in the train setting like a hard pace. But he is sort of one of the guys that's capable of doing pulls and keeping the breakaway on a leash and that sort of stuff. And whilst he's been at UAE, we certainly haven't heard anything like we did when he was at Movistar and didn't want to come back from the break, right? That's not been a thing here. So again, pretty consistent guy. Again, done this a couple of times. They've picked a pretty experienced squad. They've picked guys that have done this before for the most part and brought success last year. So who's next? Okay, Wellens. Yeah, great pick. Again, one of the guys that's kind of equally able to do pulls in the mountains and on the flat to control breakaways. So he's really, really important. He's kind of like almost like maybe their version of Wout to a degree, right? Quite versatile, but he has to be there. He's so important for Pog. He's also one of the only guys that's sort of like a classic style rider really as well. So he's one of the few guys that can look after Pog in that instance and be there sort of in if the group splits or whatever. So yeah, important guy to have around. And then next up, Yates. Yeah, okay. So we knew he was going to be there. Shocked if he wouldn't be there. Again, like I said earlier, he's maybe not quite on the level he was, but He's still podiumed the Tour de France. He's still Pog's pretty much, you know, anointed lieutenant, isn't he? Pog clearly likes him. He's clearly got that role for Pog the last few years in the Tour, where Pog wants him there, wants him protecting him and trusts him. So, yeah, really important. I think he looks better with the beard, to be honest, I would say. I don't know, man. I think he looks, I think he looks better with the beard. So does Simon Yates's winning the Giro now officially make Adam Yates the second best Yates brother? Right, 2-0. 2 Grand Tours to nothing. Don't care how many UAE tours you've got in the bag. Doesn't quite make up for a Grand Tour, does it? I don't know. He could have had one. Yates could have maybe won a Grand Tour for sure if he'd gone for it. But the last few years he's been more concerned with being like a loyal teammate and probably paid very, very handsomely for it. So yeah. So is that everybody? That must be everybody now, right? Yeah, that's everybody. So I mean, that's a stacked team. That is a good team. I don't know who else they could have brought. Who would you have brought better than that? Who is it again? Let's have a look. Right, so here we go. So Almeida, Narvaez, Pogacar, Pollitt, Sivakov, Soler, Wellens, Yates. That is a stacked team. That is one of the best Grand Tour teams I've ever seen. You know, with all due respect, that is crazy strong. Who else could you take? Who else? That's their number one squad, isn't it? I mean, who else could you take? I wouldn't take Ayuso. I don't trust him to work for the team, and you've got to have everybody just work for the team in this instance. Del Toro, but who would he? Maybe instead of Narvaez, but again, I don't know. I think I'm happy with this squad. Maybe Del Toro you could fit in there for somebody like Narvaez, but yeah, that is one hell of a squad. And then you look at, I mean, I thought Visma's squad was good, but this is stacked. I mean, let's have a look. Let's see them both. I think I said this on the last video, but if you compare these squads man for man, they are so even. This is such a tight thing between these two teams. I mean, almost evens out exactly man for man, doesn't it? Look, Yates cancels Yates, Pog cancels Vin, Wout and Narvaez, Affini and Pollitt cancel each other out, Campenarts and Wellens, Soler and Benoot, Sivakov and Jorgensen, Almeida and Kuss, like they cancel each other out, right? Who's got the better team? It's so hard to say. It's so hard to say. They're so even. They're two of the best Grand Tour teams you've ever seen, for sure. They're stacked. They're absolutely stacked. Any of those domestiques could win races on their own, right? Some of the domestiques here are better than some of the GC guys at the Giro. It's crazy. The level of the Tour is so much higher than anywhere else, any other race. It is insane. So it's really hard to call. I think if they even each other out, it's just going to come down to who's stronger out of the top two guys. And unless the GC tactics play into it and somebody makes a mistake, lets somebody get up the road, and then they're able to use that second GC person to put pressure on the other top guy. But other than that, I just don't see it. It's so even. All right, and they've also got a special edition kit for the Tour. The Pisse design, I better be careful how I say that, the Pisse design, which will be revealed later today. Well, good news, it's already been revealed, so we're gonna have a look at it in a second. They've got another video, so we're gonna watch another video and have a look at the kit. All right, so let's have a look at this kit. Let's see if you like it. We know what the usual kit looks like, so let's see this one. The Pisse kit. Pogacar won't even be wearing it.
On the bike. I really love it.
Love it, but I won't be wearing it. Love it that much. There it is. Right, look. Oh, what do you think? I don't know. It looks kind of... Was that green? Is that like a... I don't know about that. I don't know about that. It looks like I've just cleaned my drivetrain with it. It looks greasy, right? Look at it. It looks greasy here, surely, huh? I don't know about that. Let's see more. I don't know about this. What do you think? It looks... I don't know. It looks dirty, doesn't it? It looks like it's been at the bottom of my garden pond for 3 years. Fell off the washing line and it's just been sat there and I've just dug it out. No, it's a no from me. It's a no from me. It's a no to that one and it's a no to the Visma one. The kits this year, I'm not a fan of. I'm trying to think if there's any that I like this year. Maybe the Decathlon one. I quite like the Decathlon one. That one looks good. I like the colours. Maybe that's the idea. They're just going to try and make the kit so horrible for the Tour every year that people have to win the national champ jerseys. no choice but to wear something else. Yeah, it's an absolutely stacked team. Are Visma going to be scared? No, they don't care. They knew that it was going to be a strong team. They brought their super strong team. They expected this. They're not bothered. At the end of the day, like I said, it's pretty even, right? These two teams have both got super teams. And if you compare these teams to some of the other teams, you'll see it's not enough to just have a great GC guy. Like, Remco is amazing. But let's look at his team. Where's his team been announced? I'm sure it's out already, right? Like that team, look at this team. They're sending him to the tour to try and get a podium with that team. He will be going to somewhere like Ineos or somewhere next season when his contract expires. Like, they've got to build a team for Remco. Like, he's trying to do all this against the top guys, but they've got a top team with them, and he hasn't. So the quality of the other teams is not even close. Not even close to Visma or UAE's. They are head and shoulders above all the other teams. I mean, even Bora's team looks good, doesn't it? But, you know, Roglic has got Lipowitz, Vlasov, Pithy, but even then it's not even close. That team is not even the same stratosphere as these other teams for Visma and UAE. So the GC guys for these other teams are already at a disadvantage before we even get to the final guys, before it even gets to the GC group and it's reduced to the GC guys on the climbs. They're going to have had to have worked harder to get into a better position, to surf the wheels, to move up on the climbs, to put the pressure on, to pull back breakaways. It all makes a difference, especially over 3 weeks. So UAE and Visma, I'm not surprised. They've brought the best possible teams they could. It's all around the yellow jersey. There's no sprinters going for the green jersey or anything like that. It's just going to be getting their top guy into the yellow jersey. So I'm super hyped to see it. We've only got another week left. Let me know who you think is going to win, if you thought that they could have brought any better people, either UAE or Visma, and how this one's going to play out. Catch you next time.